Hari Om. In this series of nuggets of wisdom, we have been constantly looking step by step from the personality recognition, refinement, and re-establishment. We then moved on with understanding what is Viveka, what is the impact of that Viveka, and what does Vairagya mean. Now, in the next step, we will be looking into what does it mean to grow to the next step. And in that next step, Bhagwan Adi Shankaracharya ji very sequentially puts it according to the Vedanta Shastra, and Gurudev's translation is, as always, immaculate. So he says, to be able to withdraw all the 10 sense organs, 5 organs of perception, 5 organs of action, even before they can go out to the set of respective objects that each organ is habituated to indulge in. So even before it can go indulge, to be able to absorb that thought pattern within the sense organs without creating an impact of it into the internal layer. A very subtler than the earlier steps. It can also be called as self-discipline or self-control. This is called Dhamma. To be able to withdraw the sense organ even before it can jump into action and indulge. Initially, it may be very, very difficult. We usually will recognize that pattern only after it has gone deep dive into that particular field of object, and then we recognize, oh my goodness, it has jumped in. Recognize it, bring it back. But as we proceed subtler and subtler into this sadhana, to be able to recognize that whole chain of events, that it can jump into that particular field, just before that to be able to recognize it and to stop in that indulgence. That self-control, that self-restraint is quite an achievement. Supposing there is an argument, and in that argument I know I am being drawn into that particular argument, and in that argument if I say anything, it will lead to further different kinds of arguments, and these arguments can lead to, I'm just taking an example here, okay? I know because I have been in that similar kind of situation earlier. Before that can happen, to have that ability to control and not just, try bottling everything up, but be able to absorb it, digest it. Meaning there is a thought process which is evaluating it without being lost in that situation. Whether it is speech, whether it is taste, whether it is actions, to be able to absorb that thought pattern even before the sense organ can go indulge in. See, as we grow subtler and subtler, if the external discipline is not that very obvious, supposing I did not focus on this self-control, on this Dhamma, and I focused on the other aspects which we will be discussing. After having built a good edifice, the weak point will become absence of my own discipline, my own self-control. Therefore, this cannot be neglected, this cannot be given up. A certain amount of self-discipline, how much time I sleep, how much time I stay awake, how much I eat, what are the regular patterns in which I eat, how much I speak, where do I speak, do I always stand up and speak for that which is right whenever I speak, when to withdraw, where not to participate. All of this helps in awareful living. But if that discipline is lacking, that awarefulness will just not be possible. Now, in order to have this, we need to have, because I feel that they both, Shama and Dhamma, are hand in hand. One strengthens the other. It is a feedback loop. As strong the mind is, that strong the self-discipline is. As strong as the self-discipline, that strong the mind will be. So what does control of mind entail? So that is given. It says, the ability to withdraw the mind from the finite world of things by educating it constantly, by being aware of the weaknesses and imperfection of the world of objects. Thus, ushering my own mind slowly but firmly towards tranquility and peace within. This is called control of mind or Shama. The key point here being constantly being able to educate myself, constantly being able to evaluate wherever I am participating before I participate. What is the kind of environment that I am getting into? Am I being aware of it? What is the nature of that which I am interacting with? Does it lead to a sense of permanency within? Does it have weaknesses? Does it have imperfections? Does it have... the entire world has one certain imperfection. And that imperfection is, it is constantly changing, and me to log in into that impermanent world with an expectation of permanent joy, satisfaction, happiness, sense of credibility, sense of balance. That itself is not having a balance. How can that provide a balance? Several that which are themselves by nature imbalance, how can they put together bring a balance? Balance within is not possible when we are running after. And without that tranquility and peace built in, my puja, japa, dhyana and the other processes, they will not find strength because the mind is not available. So this is a constant awareful process. Shama helps build Dhamma. Dhamma helps build Shama. Now the next question is, how do I know, how do I recognize if Shama and Dhamma have reached to a good positioning within? So for that, the next step, in the sequence, in the adhikari for the Vedanta Shravana, Vedanta Sadhana, is uparama. When we have enough ability, enough proficiency in controlling our mind and shama and self-control, self-discipline called dhamma, then it automatically reflects as uparati. Usually, our mind is pararati, rati, to revel in something which is other, something which is out there. Uparati, to withdraw from reveling in as an automated process. There are friends forcing you to eat, there are environments that are forcing you, compelling you to burst out, various situations, right? Now, in these situations, to have the ability to withdraw, there is no shortcut. There is constant awarefulness, there is constant vigilance that is required. That is the only key. There is no shortcut wherein shama and dhamma automatically will get increased in our life. It will not happen. There is a conscious, continuous, vigilant effort. Awareful living is the only key. Therefore, maintain a diary, a journal. Constantly write down, where am I going? Why am I going? Why is my mind trailing into those patterns? First step is to be aware of it. Without being aware, to try correcting it is impossible. So before I correct it, I need to make sure that my mind is aware of it. Then comes the process of trying to correct it. Then reinforcing it. Then come to a point wherein I see the environment, I have now become intelligent enough to not be drawn by such situations because I have had earlier experiences and I have very consciously evaluated them. Hence, therefore, I will not fall trap to it. Such a seeker can find peace within. Shama, Dhamma, Uparama. The next one is my favorite. I'll see that next time. Until then, take care. Hari Om.